Greetings, the Astro 30 here yet again, and welcome back to AEL. Now, if you're new to this channel, please consider going down and subscribing. That'll help me out immensely. Anyway, I've got sitting on the desk today a Pioneer VSX-D508 amplifier. It's 5.1 channel inputs, 100 watts times 5 apparently. And this is mine. I just picked it up today from the South Hobart tip shop for 20 bucks, and it says volume knob needs fixing, which is here, and this is just a rotary encoder, so it's most likely got an erratic encoder. And interestingly, it comes with a remote. A really ugly looking remote, but a remote nonetheless. So there'll be something else to test. So what I'm going to do is do a preliminary check just to make sure it powers up okay. I'm going to stick it on a dim bulb first and then verify the complaint. I've actually built a new dim bulb too. It's got two bulbs in series with bypass switching on it as well now. When the switch is in the off position here, the bulbs are not bypassed. So, well, we've got a red LED on the front panel, so it's in standby. Hardly anything. I'm going to bypass one of the bulbs. Display's dim, and well, yeah, well, I can see that the volume control doesn't work at all. It's at minus 94. No, it is work now. It's at 0 dB. It's like, yeah, there's something really wrong with that rotary encoder. So it's a relatively easy fix, but might be awkward to get to. I'll just bypass the bulb, and now it's all lit up nice and bright. Yeah, that rotary encoder must be pretty dirty because it's not really responding that well. So next I might put some batteries in the remote. Oh, it's got some. I don't know if they are any good, but let's see if the remote works. Oh, it does work. Okay, let's see if the... yeah. Okay. Where's the volume control? Here. See, the volume works fine from the remote. Well, obviously it will. So at least the remote works. We're on something. There's midnight mode here. I don't know what that does. Nothing. Function. Yeah, that seems to be working. So I'll leave it on the CD input. Anyway, let's pop the top and see if we what we're up against. But before I do that, let's have a look at what we've got here on the back. We've got all the analog inputs here, antenna connection, just standard piano keys, which makes it easier connecting antennas to it, unlike some designs. There's an optical input 1 and 2 there. There's our speaker outputs. Now we've got right, left, that's the surround speakers. We've got center speaker, and we've got the right, left, front, and right, left, front. It's got like two front speakers, A and B. Okay. We've got a center pre-out and a subwoofer pre-out. Nice. Anyway, let's get back to taking the lid off. Of course, I would have to film when someone's doing garden work. Ooh. There's a good clean in there. Look at all the dust in here. Oh, so many dust bunnies. Oh, lovely. They're module amplifiers. Apparently that's a PAC 007A. That one's a PAC-008A, and the other third one, which you can't see, is another PAC-007A. Anyway, that's not what I'm concerned about. What I'm concerned about is the rotary encoder, which is buried on the front panel here, and that lives just here, and it's on the main front panel display board, which is going to have to come out in order to service the thing. All of this would have to be disconnected. I think I can just disconnect it from the main board and this sub board here, and then unscrew the front panel from the chassis, and then unscrew the board from the front panel. So first off, I'm going to carefully disconnect these ribbon cables without stressing them too much, because you can easily damage them if you're not careful. And that one doesn't want to come out, apparently. Right, okay, what I might do is I might move this board out of the way, which is the tuner board, so I can actually get my hand in there properly. Might as well just unplug it. There we go. Now I can get to that connector a little easier. It came out good. And there's one just here on this daughter board. Okay. Now I'll unscrew the front panel from the chassis. There's a screw here too on the side, so there's probably one on the other side as well. Indeed there is. Now this should unclip and pull forward. Maybe. Got to be careful, there's a headphone socket adapter board here with a very short wire on it, so I might see if that connector unplugs. I don't think it does. Oh yes, it does. Right, remove the wiring so I can get the panel off, and there's a ground strap as well here, so I'll remove him. Let's get back to try and get this panel off. There we go. There's another ground there as well, and another PCB with cables to it. So I can't actually pull this panel off without disconnecting this board down here. I assume this just unplugs. There we go. Now that should come free. The amount of work involved just to get to the rotary encoder is ridiculous. Right, there we go. It's free in my hand. Okay. Alright, now to remove the billion screws from this board, actually. Yeah, that board. Because I need to get over here. First though, I'm probably most likely going to have to release a nut. No, but I do have to pull the knob off. So have to be careful of this board because it is a vacuum fluorescent display, which with all the jolting around can be easily damaged. So that's something I don't want to do. So I'll remove all the million screws. release a few clips and the board should pop out. There's the microprocessor, by the way. Or is that the vacuum fluorescent display driver? I reckon it'd be the micro. Well, that's already sort of free and I've lost a screw. It's not really held in that well. Okay, yeah, now I've got an issue with this board. Is now got to come out as well because it looks like it's permanently soldered to the wires. That's just the power switch board, I reckon, and the LED. Yeah, the LED and the power switch. Right. Haha, it is free. Okay, so this is what we need to get to. So I need to actually unsolder him from the board and actually open it up. So I'll warm the soldering iron up. I'm going to go for a quick break and then come back to this. I was thinking I may not need to actually unsolder it from the board. I can probably just service it here in situ. If I can so release the pins, I need to find a smaller screwdriver. This one will do. Just maybe a little bit more awkward putting it back together, but I should be able to get those back in with pliers. Now, I did do a video a fair few years ago of servicing erratic rotary encoders, but the quality of the video wasn't that great. I was using an old 360p camera. There we go. That should be enough to pull the rotor off. And I can see that, yeah, it is fairly tarnished on the inside. I don't know if you can. So I need some cotton tips and a bit of electronic cleaning solvent. Yeah, it's fairly brown. I mean, there is a bit of grease that's worked its way onto the rotor, which, well, it shouldn't matter, but yeah, it's best to clean the grease off of the contact surface. It's just where it's over time probably worked its way from the front, because the grease should be in the front where the shaft is, not on the stator. So, sorry, the rotor. This is the rotor, that's the stator. See, I'm still getting off all this brown gunk. And that's probably about as clean as I'm going to get it. So now I need to do the same to the fingers, or the stator, and then I can put it back together. I mean, this is just isopropyl alcohol spray. There's nothing special about it. There's grease on the fingers too, and dirt. A bit of brown stuff is coming off. I'm not going to go too anal about this, but just get rid of the excess grease. And another one, just to do a final clean of those fingers. Just to make sure I have got them clean. I think that's about all I can do to it. So now I can put the thing back together. And those back in, and I'll go grab some pliers and do it properly. I actually haven't seen a rotary encoder this big before. They're usually a lot smaller. But and there's still a fair bit of resistance there, so it hasn't affected the grease in the front of the rotary encoder. Alright, it's back together now and I'm ready to test it. So, well, that didn't seem to do much. It was something to do with this voltage selector switch. I moved it around and it works now. Although it was pointing to the 120, 127 volt at the time. It should be on 240. I don't know how it moved, but it turns on now. See? Now, have I fixed the control? Ooh, yes I have. Well, I should be able to bypass that. Oops, wrong way. That's better, it's a bit brighter. Well, yeah, it's still erratic. Yeah, it's still not working properly. I'm going to have to pull it back apart and fiddle with it some more. Damn. Alright, I took the rotary encoder apart again and I actually scraped the little contacts on the rotor just to get rid of the lines that had worked its way into the copper. And I cleaned it again, and now I thought I would test it with the front panel board out of the unit. There's just this one connector not connected. That's just for the digital sound processing board for the optical inputs. So as you can see, it's now working smoothly, and it's actually green, not orange. So now we can get to 0 dB nicely, and it's smooth operation all the way down. Right, so I can throw this back together and test it properly. I might bypass the dim bulb. It's a bit brighter. Yep, that seems to be working fine. Excellent. I had to go in twice, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Alright, time to put it back together. Alright, all back together, turned on, volume control is operating properly. I'll just bypass the dim bulb. I always put it on the dim bulb first just to make sure that there's no electrical fault that I've caused by taking it apart. That seems to be operating fine. So now the next thing to do would be to see if we've even got any sound output. That'd be probably a good idea. Got everything set up, dummy load, etc. And I think this power adapter that I was using to power the scope no longer works because the scope wouldn't turn on. So I had to use the supply that came with the scope, which is that weird European plug thing. But I'll have to see what happened to this. Anyway, now it's hooked up to both channels, the CD input, etc. The dim bulb's still in circuit, but as we can see, we've got a nice even output. It's going to start breaking up because of the dim bulb, so I might bypass that. Pretty nice. I just want to see how far it goes to clipping. Still quite powerful. What are we at? Oh, almost full volume. There we go. and we're pushing 88.5 volts peak to peak. Still clipping, drop it off. About 27.6 volts RMS, which is about 95 watts RMS into 8 ohm load. So yeah, the 100 watt that it says it can deliver is about right. Alright, to end the video, let's do the customary sound test. Got a track ready. That didn't do anything, let's try that again. Music works. Dinner works. Now this. Okay. Okay, that's enough of that. We know it works. It sounds alright. There doesn't appear to be any bass or treble adjustment controls and no balance, and I can't figure out how to get it into multi-channel output either. Although I don't think that's really relevant. It works fine as a stereo amplifier. But yeah, this also the battery compartment on this remote is not staying on there. It keeps falling off because it's actually broken. Nothing a bit of tape won't fix. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid back on it and I'm going to clean it up a bit and then we'll close this one out. There we go, she's cleaned up and no longer topless. And yeah, it's plugged in and its control's still working fine. So yeah, it was a simple fix. It was just a little bit involved of getting to the rotary encoder to do it. However, it's fixed now. I didn't really clean that up very well, did I? So, nice easy one. Now I can, well, flip this for like 50 bucks, probably, and make a $30 profit. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. If you enjoyed it, please remember to go down below, comment, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Anyway, this is the Astro 30 saying, see ya, have a great day.